to start to settle in. Give yourself this moment to completely relax onto the mat. Taking a deep breath in, filling up. Exhale, let it out. Taking a deep breath in, filling up. Exhale, let it out. Taking a moment here to consider your time in your home, at work, and just ask yourself, what are you doing to remain present? It's very hard right now to remain present when we're bombarded by all this media on Facebook, YouTube videos, everything being thrown at you. So take a moment here to take a deep breath in, exhale, let it out. Giving yourself the opportunity to connect to your body, feel your breath, and feel the mat or floor beneath you. Give yourself one more deep, deep breath in, filling up as much as you can. Exhale, sigh it out. Take a moment here to scan the body from toes all the way up the legs, into the torso, down the arms, up the neck and into the head. Full body scan from now, reversing it from crown of the head, down the arms, down the torso, down the legs and into the toes. Just taking note of what you're feeling, taking note of what sensations there are. And just take a deep breath in, let that breath fill into the body, filling you from toes to head, head to toes. Exhale, we let it out. Taking a moment here to begin to slowly draw those knees into the chest. Give yourself a big hug. Taking a moment to maybe even round the shoulders, bringing the head up towards those knees. Then slowly relax the shoulders and head back to the mat. Hugging those knees in tight. Make some small circles. And if you go one way, make sure you reverse course and go the other. But begin to slowly hold that left foot in tight and let the right leg go long. Take a moment here to let your left hand come out and take your knee over towards the side, coming into a twist. Just letting this be organic and natural here, just breathing in and breathing out. Just getting that spine moving. Begin to slowly bring that knee back up through center. Hugging the right knee in as well. Then let the left leg go long. And really hug that knee in as we start to take it over towards the left. Taking that right hand out to the side if that's comfortable. Just allow yourself to breathe in here. Let that twist happen organically. Then as you inhale, let that knee come back on up. Hugging both knees in tight to the chest. Taking a moment here to begin to slowly plant the feet on the mat. Keep those knees bent. We're going to walk our legs in for a bridge pose. So feet should be close to the sit bones. Making sure the feet are hip distance apart. Plant the hands by the hips. Then slowly, methodically, with control, we're going to slowly press in the heels as you inhale, lift up ever so slowly, feeling every bit of the lift, using the glutes to lift those hips high, bridge pose. Pushing through the heels, lift a little bit higher. Take a deep breath in, lift those heels up, slowly roll down the spine, feeling the articulation of the spine. Planting the feet down. One more time, coming back up in that bridge pose, feeling that lift. Maybe you start to roll the shoulders a little bit further underneath as you press through the shoulders, press to the heels, lift the hips up, breathing in. And as we exhale, keep where we are. Inhale, lift those heels up, then slowly roll down the spine. We've got one more bridge pose here. This time we're going to take a moment to press the heels, lift the hips up, just hold the bridge pose for the count of 4. Pressing through those heels, 1. Shoulders push down, 2. Lift the hips a little bit higher, 3. 4, we maintain. Inhale, lift those heels up, and slowly roll down the spine. Hugging those knees in tight. Maybe we start to rock a little bit side to side, massaging that low back. But slowly start to rock up and down the length of the spine, eventually coming through to a tabletop position. Once you get to that tabletop position, plant the shoulders over the hands, hips over the knees, and let's go through a few cat-cows just to warm that spine up. So as you inhale, drop the belly, roll the shoulders back, look up. But as you exhale, push the mat away, arching the back to cat pose. Inhale back through cow, taking this nice and gentle, following your breath, not my count. And take 2 more times at your pace, then we'll meet in a neutral tabletop position. I'm seeing a lot of good adjustments doing what people need to do. So everything I say is just a suggestion. If you feel like there's a different movement that would better serve you, please feel free to take that. Giving yourself permission to do what you need because you know your body better than any. So as we find that neutral tabletop, we're gonna go through some spinal extensions. So we're gonna inhale, right hand up, left leg comes back. Keeping the hips nice and level, pointing that pinky toe down. Reach the limbs apart, and as you exhale, elbow the knee, crunch it in. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, we crunch it in. Inhale, we reach up. Exhale, crunch and hold. Hug that knee in. Beautiful. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, we take it to the floor. Beautiful. Now press that right hand down as you lift your left hand up, right leg back, switching sides. Reach the limbs apart. Exhale, elbow the knee. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, we reach up. Exhale, bring it in. Holding here. Inhale, we reach up. Exhale, take it to the floor. Beautiful work here. Start to walk those hands ever so slightly forward. Tuck those toes behind you. Lift the hips, press them back, downward facing dog. This is our first downward facing dog, so take the grace here to pedal it out. Taking your time to acclimate to the pose. This is one of those poses when you do these first thing in the morning, your body's gonna creak and groan. It's gonna snap, crackle, and pop. But just let it finally settle into that pose as you lift the tailbone nice and high. Press the chest back towards the thighs. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, we take the gaze forward. Exhale, feet slowly walk to the top of the mat, coming through to Uttanasana, forward fold. As you inhale here, hold on the opposite elbows, and maybe you start to sway, releasing out low spine. And then slowly we find stillness. Bend generously through the knees. Press those heels. Roll yourself up to standing, arms reach high overhead. Exhale, hands come through to heart center. And close your eyes. Taking a moment here to let yourself find an intention. Feel the hands press together. Feel the thumbs press against the chest. Maybe your intention is just to be present today. Maybe your intention is something else, but whatever it is, let that intention guide you, keeping you present here. Then as you find that intention, hold it close to the heart. Inhale, blink the eyes open as you reach the hands high. As you exhale here, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, find a flat back, lift up halfway. Shine the heart forward. As you exhale, plant the hands, step back to a plank pose. Shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. Sorry, hips press back, that's tabletop. Take a deep breath in here. Finding that plank pose. Powering up through the core, knit the ribs in, puff up through the upper back, take the gaze slightly forward so that neck is neutral, breathing in. Then as you exhale here, knees drop, chest and chin. coming through here. Then as you inhale, slowly come forward to your baby cobra. Lift the heart, hug elbows and shoulders together, look forward. Exhale, come down, tap the nose. We're gonna do baby cobra 2 more times. So as you inhale, lift the heart, hug elbows and shoulders together, look forward. Exhale, come back down. Using the muscles of the low spine, lift yourself up, hug elbows and shoulders together, look forward. Exhale, roll back down, tap the nose, tuck the toes, lift yourself up and back for downward facing dog. Taking the time here to once more set up that downward facing dog, pressing the hips back, tailbone lifts up. So to really plant those hands down, breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, gaze comes forward. Exhale, feet come to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, find that Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. Exhale, we fold. Bending through the knees, we roll ourselves up to our Tadasana, arms reach high overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center, and find that mountain pose. All right, we're gonna go through a sun C now. So we're gonna inhale, arms reach high. Exhale, we find that Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, plant those hands, step back for a plank pose. Press those heels back, reach the crown of the head forward, feel length in the body. Breathing in. Then as we exhale, knees drop, chest and chin. Inhale, come forward for your baby cobra, lift the chest, hug elbows and shoulders together. Exhale, come down, tap the nose, tuck the toes, lift up and back for downward facing dog. As you inhale, that right leg comes up nice and high. Exhale, bring it to between the hands, dropping that left knee down. Inhale, arms reach high. Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Reach those hands nice and high. Then as you exhale, press those hips forward and down as you cactus the arms. Beautiful here. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, press back down. Pausing a moment here to pull your left hip forward in space, right hip back. Feel that left hip flexor stretch. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, press back down. Holding here. As you exhale, hinging at the waist, left hand drops to the mat, right hand drops down. Tuck that back foot as you step back to downward facing dog. Taking a deep inhale in as you lift your left leg high. Exhale, left hand between the hands. Go ahead and take that right knee down. Inhale, arms reach high. Anjaneyasana. Reach those arms a little bit higher. Exhale, cactus your arms. You press those hips forward and down. Inhale, lifting back up. Exhale, press back down. This time pulling that right hip forward in space, left hip pulls back. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, reach back up. Last time, press down and hold. Breathing in here. As we exhale, both hands return to the mat. Take that right foot, step it to the top of the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, we fold. Bend through those knees, roll yourself up to standing. Arms reach high overhead. Exhale, hands through heart center, and find that mountain pose. Beautiful work here. We're gonna go through one more time, adding on a little bit each time. Inhale, arms reach high, look up. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, find a flat back. As you exhale here, plant those hands, step back for your plank pose. Once you find that plank, reach those heels back, reach to the crown of the head, get a length through the spine. Then as we exhale, lower to the ground. As we inhale here, find that baby cobra, lift the chest, hug elbows and shoulders together, breathing in. Exhale, we come back down, tap the nose, tuck the toes, lift yourself up and back for downward facing dog. Beautiful work here. Take a deep breath in, long breath out. Inhale, right leg nice and high. Exhale, step it through between the hands, taking the left knee down as you do so. Hands reach high overhead, coming through to your Anjaneyasana. Reach those hands nice and high. Then as we exhale, press those hips forward and down, cactus in the arms, pulling that left hip forward, right hip back. Inhale, reaching back up. Exhale, press back down. Taking a moment here to take your left hand down to the mat. Right hand's gonna lift up for your twisted lunge. Keep reaching that right hand high, press that left hand down. Feel the rotation of the spine as your heart shines towards the right. Then as you exhale, both hands return to the mat. Tuck that back foot as you step your right foot back, downward facing dog. Taking a moment here to take a deep inhale as you lift that left leg high. Exhale, bring it to between the hands, dropping that right knee this time. Hands reach forward and up, low lunge. Reaching those hands nice and high. As you exhale, press those hips forward and down. Once more, pulling that right hip forward, left hip back. Inhale, reaching back up. Exhale, press those hips forward and down. Taking that right hand to the mat, left hand lifts up, coming into your twisted lunge. Reach the left hand high, press that right hand down. Breathing in, breathing out. Slowly take your left hand down to the mat, take your back foot, tuck it, take it to the top of the mat, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, find the Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. Exhale, we fold. Bending through those knees, roll yourself up to standing, arms reach high. Exhale, hands to heart center, and close the eyes. Taking a moment here to come back to that intention you set at the beginning of class. Ask yourself, how are you doing with that intention? Is it working for you? Are you able to stay present and focused? Taking a deep breath in, long breath out. Begin to blink those eyes open. Take the hands out of the side for your mountain pose. Take a look at your feet. Make sure your feet are about hip distance apart. So hip distance is going to be, take your heel of one foot to the arch of the other, spin it out, and that's going to be hip distance apart. So heel to arch, spin it out, hip distance. We're coming to a chair pose where I want to have the feet separate here for a reason. So let me come about halfway down the mat so you can see me a little better. So we're going to inhale, flex the hips backwards, reach the arms forward, chair pose. Taking a moment to press all the weight into the heels. Lift the toes, keep reaching and sinking the tailbone back, lifting up through the chest. Breathing in here, beautiful work. Chair pose first thing in the morning is the last thing we want to do, but we're going to do it. Keep reaching the arms forward, sink those hips down, breathing in, exhale, fold. Inhale, find a halfway lift. As you exhale here, plant those hands, step back, plank pose. Going through a modified sun B. Take a deep breath in here, long breath out here. As you exhale, lower to the ground. Inhale, find that baby cobra or upward facing dog if you're ready. As we exhale here, start to slowly lift the hips, press them back, downward facing dog. Taking a deep breath in here, long breath out here. Inhale, you're gonna take that left leg nice and high. Exhale, bring it right behind that left wrist. Planting that right heel down 45-degree angle, opening yourself up, lifting up for warrior one. So if you feel any kind of back, any pain in your back leg, feel free to pick that heel up, coming more into a crescent lunge. But we're gonna inhale, reach the hands high, exhale, sink a little bit lower. Press the back through that back heel, press to the pinky side of the foot, keep lifting forward. So you want your hips and shoulders facing the same direction. Inhale, reach up a little bit higher. As we exhale, hands come down to the mat, step back to downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, we're gonna reverse sides. So inhale, right foot nice and high. Exhale, take it through right behind that right wrist. Left heel comes down to 45 degrees. Hands reach up, warrior one. This time, your left hip peels forward, right hip peels back. Reach the hands high. Reach that front knee a little bit further forward. Breathing in here. Breathing out here. Breathing in here. Exhale, both hands come down to the mat as we step back to downward facing dog. Taking a moment in downward facing dog to maybe pedal out the feet once more if that's comfortable. Then as we inhale, take the gaze forward. Exhale, feet walk to the front of the mat, making sure they are hip distance apart, because we're going to inhale, flex the hips, arms reach high, chair pose, Uttanasana. Keep reaching out through the tailbone, reaching through the hands, all the weight in the heels, breathing in. Then as we inhale, lift yourself up, hands by the side for Tadasana Mountain Pose. Beautiful work here. We're gonna start adding on a little bit each time here. So we're going to work our way into a standing figure 4. So chair pose is the foundation of this. So you want to begin to flex those hips back. So to press all the weight into your left heel, take your right leg up, cross it over as you begin to come into a figure 4 chair. Arms can be in front or reaching high, but keep pressing your hips back. Reach the tailbone back, lift through the crown of the head, seated figure 4. Taking a moment to notice the left hip. Maybe you take your right hand to that knee to help open it up a little bit. Breathing in, breathing out. As we inhale, lift ourselves back and up. Take that right knee up. Then as we exhale, start to step back, coming into a high crescent lunge. From this high crescent lunge, we're going to slowly take that back heel down, modifying it into Warrior 1. So keep pressing through that back leg, reach through both hands, Warrior 1. Slowly take both hands behind you to clasp. Rolling the shoulders open as you press the fists back towards the heel, lift through the heart. Imagine we are pulling you up straight through the sternum, lift, lift, lift through the chest. Then as you exhale, humble it down. Left shoulder inside left knee. Taking a deep breath in. Hugging this left knee in towards the midline. Make sure your hips are not swaying out to the left. Keep them towards the middle. Then slowly press through that left heel. Lift yourself back on up to Warrior 1. Both hands reach back overhead. Then as we exhale here, both hands come down to the mat. As we start to slowly step back, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, we're going to inhale, take the gaze forward. Exhale, feet travel to the top, forward fold. Making sure the feet are hip distance apart, we're going to slowly sink the hips, arms reach high, chair pose. And from our chair pose, lift ourselves up, hands by the side, Tadasana Mountain Pose. So we're going to move that to the other side. So let's go ahead and plant that right foot down. Start to come into that chair pose. Start to sink the hips back. Take your left ankle, cross it over right knee. Reach through both hands. Reach that tailbone. Feel that left hip. Maybe you take your hand to that knee to help press it open. Breathing in. Breathing out. Keep pressing that tailbone back. Lift through the chest. Breathing in. As you exhale here, lift that left leg up. Step it back. High crescent lunge. From your high crescent lunge, you're going to reach up through the chest, press that right knee forward, spin that back heel down to 45 degrees. Notice your hips might want to open, so take your left hip and bring it forward. So noticing if there's pain in that knee, keep that heel lifted in the crescent lunge. Lift those hands a little bit higher as you take them behind you to clasp. Roll the shoulders back, pinch the shoulder blades together as you begin to lift through the chest, lifting up, opening the shoulders. Take a deep breath in. Then as you exhale, right shoulder inside of right knee, humbling it down. Notice what happens with your hips. If you feel it swinging to the right, bring them more towards the midline. Take this opportunity to pull the left hip forward, right hip back. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Press to that right heel, lift yourself back on up. Both hands reach overhead, coming to your Warrior 1. Then as we exhale, both hands come to the mat, step back to a plank pose. From this plank pose, take a moment to press through the hands, lift through the hips, breathing in, then slowly lift the hips, press them back, downward facing dog. Taking a deep breath in and a long breath out. Inhale, gaze comes forward. Exhale, feet travel to the top, making sure the feet are hip distance apart. This way we can come back into our chair pose. Once you're at top of the mat, sink the hips, arms reach high, chair pose. Breathing in, breathing out. As you inhale, lift yourself up to Tadasana, hands return to the side. Beautiful here. So we're going to begin to press that right foot down to the mat. We're going to return to the standing figure 4 on this side. So we're going to press that right foot down, bend that right knee, left ankle comes up and over, sink yourself down, standing figure 4. Breathing in here, breathing out here. Breathing in here. As we exhale, press yourself back up to standing. Left leg lifts high, Step it behind you for high crescent lunge. From your high crescent lunge, we're going to take our hands out to a T, and you're gonna bring your left hand under right, coming into eagle arms. If the bind here is pretty difficult, just give yourself a big bear hug. It's the same action here. But if you can get your elbows to bind, squeeze them together, press the elbows out, lift them parallel to the shoulders. Start to bring your pinky side of the hand, bring it forward a little bit more so the arm's a little more vertical. Lift up a little bit higher, lift through the chest. Then as we exhale here, we're gonna humble down. Taking the elbows down inside of that knee, watching your left hip, bringing it forward. Don't let the hips sway to the right. Pressing to that right knee, breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, press to that right leg, lift yourself back on up. And what you're gonna do here is you're gonna pivot your left foot down, pivot the right foot towards, coming to the long side of the mat, coming through to a wide-legged stance with your eagle arms. Eagle arms, you're gonna keep pressing out through the elbows, lifting up parallel to the shoulders. Bring your heels inwards, toes face outward, preparing for goddess squats. Begin to slowly sink the hips down. Legs, knees are gonna press up to the side. Goddess squat. Keep this eagle arm bind here in this goddess squat. You're gonna lift up a little bit higher, lift through the chest. Then as you exhale, humble down. Bringing the elbows towards the ground. Stop when your forearms are parallel to the mat. Breathing in, sink in those hips, feel the stretch. Inhale, press to the heels, lift yourself back on up. Maybe you sink a little bit lower as you open up a little bit more. And as you exhale, sink back down. 2 more times. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, sink back down. Inhale, sink, lifting back up. Last time, sink back down. Holding here. Holding this weird squat here. Pressing through the heels, lift yourself back on up. Separate the hands as you lift up to a 5-pointed star. Bring the toes to face the 45-degree angle. Lift up a little bit higher. Hands come by the side. Just go ahead and roll the shoulders out for a moment. That was a lot to hold eagle arms for a bit. Now we're gonna begin to take our left foot, pivot it towards the back of the mat. We're gonna take our back leg, we're gonna pivot it up as you find high crescent lunge, this side of the mat. Now we've changed our orientation, we're facing the back. Inhale, reach the hands high. Exhale, sink down a little bit more. Beautiful work here. So just slowly take both hands down to the mat. Step yourself back to a plank pose. Once you get to a plank pose, take a deep breath in. Then as you exhale, lower to the ground. Taking the upward facing dog or baby cobra, your choice, but we'll meet in downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, take a deep breath in, long breath out. Inhale, so to take your gaze towards the top of the mat. Well, what's now the top of the mat. So to slowly bring your feet to meet the hands, coming through to your Uttanasana forward fold. Try to bend through the knees, roll yourself up to standing, arms reach high. Exhale, hands to heart center, and find that mountain pose. Beautiful work here. We're gonna switch sides here. So we're going to plant that left leg down as we begin to take the right knee up and over, coming through to your seated standing figure 4. So taking a moment here to keep pressing back, reaching the arms forward, breathing in, breathing out. Pressing through that leg, standing back up, take yourself back to your high crescent lunge. As you find that high crescent lunge, press that right heel back, reach the left knee forward, get length through the body. Breathing in. Then as we exhale, hands come out to that T. This time, left comes on top, right underneath, coming into your eagle arms. Press those elbows out, lift the elbows parallel to the shoulders, breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, lift the chest, lift a little bit higher. And as you exhale, humble down. Watching your left hip, bring it forward. Pulling the left hip back in space now, right hip comes forward, keeping the hips in line with the body on the mat. Pressing through that left heel, lift yourself back on up. Start to slowly pivot that back heel down. Left foot starts to pivot towards the long side of the mat, coming through to this wide stance one more time. Preparing for your goddess squat one more time. So bring those feet a little bit more narrow if you need to. Start to bend the knees, knees tracking over the toes. Keep pressing out through the elbows. Lift them parallel to the shoulders. Breathing in here. Exhale, start to slowly bring yourself down. Stop when the forearms are parallel to the mat or the ground. Inhale, press the heels, lift yourself back and up. Exhale, bring yourself back down. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, come back down. One more time at your pace. We will meet in a 5-pointed star when you're ready. And as you get to that 5-pointed star, bring the hands to the hips. Start to pivot your left heel, pick it up. Start to pivot the body back towards the front of the mat. Pivot that right foot toward the front. Finding what is a modified crescent lunge. Then step your left foot to the top of the mat. Samastihi. Tadasana. Top of the mat. Beautiful work here. Inhale, reach those hands nice and high. As we exhale here, hands come through chest, coming to Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, let's find a halfway lift. As we exhale here, plant those hands. We're going to step back to a child's pose. Finding that child's pose, giving yourself a moment here to rest, to breathe in. Pressing the hands into the mat, pressing the chest towards the ground. Coming back to that intention you set at the beginning of class. Asking yourself, is it still serving you? Oftentimes, especially now in these times, we start to lose connection with ourselves. We lose connection to others. So take a moment to find that connection to yourself. Take a deep breath in, feel that breath travel in. Exhale, feel it leave. Take a deep breath in, filling in from low belly all the way to the base of the throat. Fill in all the way. Exhale, open the mouth side out. Keeping that connection with the breath, with the movement, with the body. Bringing that mindful union together. So to plant the hands down. Shift up through to a tabletop position. As you get to that tabletop position, begin to slowly tuck the toes, lift the hips, press them back, downward facing dog. Taking a deep breath in, long breath out. Setting up the stability of the pose, press the hands down, press the tailbone up, chest towards the thighs. Feeling the heels travel towards the ground, they don't have to touch, but they travel towards. Taking a deep breath in, long breath out. Inhale, start to take your gaze forward. Exhale, feet travel to the top, coming through to a forward fold, Uttanasana. Once you get to your Uttanasana, your forward fold, inhale, find Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Then as you exhale here, start to slowly fold back down, bending the knees, slowly roll yourself all the way up to the top. Hands reach high. Exhale, hands to heart center, and find that mountain pose. So we're going to go build on that flow a little bit more, adding on just a little bit. So we're going to press that right foot down, bend that right knee, find your standing figure 4 with the left ankle crossing over right knee. Hands reach high overhead. Keep sinking those hips down. Then take a deep breath in as you start to lift that left knee up. That's a pillar pose, stepping yourself back to your high crescent lunge. Beautiful work. Then as you inhale, lift those hands a little bit higher. Then as you exhale, hands come out to your T. As you find that T, this time you're going to take left hand under right, coming through to your eagle arms. Pressing the elbows out, lifting them parallel to the shoulders. Take a moment here to begin to lift up. Imagine you're trying to find your fingers to point behind you, lifting through the chest. Then as you exhale, humble down, taking the elbows inside of the knee. Beautiful work here. Take a deep breath in, press to that right knee. Inhale to slowly lift yourself back on up. Go ahead and start to slowly separate yourself so that way you start to come towards this long side of the mat. So you're gonna take your left heel down, right toes come forward. From here, we're going to separate the hands out to a T. We're gonna ditch the eagle arms here as we find our way to our goddess squat. So go ahead and start to find your goddess squat, lift up to the chest and start to find yourself down. This time, hands coming to a cactus. We'll see why in a minute. So we're finding this cactus here, and from here, we're going to experiment. Lift your left heel, take it down. Lift the right heel, take it down. Lift both heels, take it down. Now we're going to lift both heels, holding this balance here, as we're going to take our right elbow to our right hip. Balancing on those hip toes as you keep leaning over. Lift that left elbow a little bit higher. Slowly take yourself back to center. Ground those heels. Take a breather here for a moment. Let's go ahead and straighten the legs, hands by the side. Maybe you want to do some figure eights here with the hips. But we're going to go through that other side now. So slowly find your way back to that goddess squat. Bend those knees, hands to your cactus arms. Go ahead and take the right heel up, take it down. Left heel up, take it down. Both heels up. Now take left elbow to your left hip. Maybe you fall over, maybe we laugh, maybe we don't. We inhale, lift ourselves back on up, ground those heels, reach the hands high for 5-pointed star. Hands come to the hip. Beautiful work here. Take that right foot, pivot it forward to the long side of the mat. Left foot pivots to the back of the mat, reaching those hands now high, preparing for your high crescent lunge. Finding it facing the back of the mat, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And from here, slowly begin to reach the hands a little bit higher as we exhale and bring them down to the mat, coming through to your runner's lunge. So maybe you pivot that back heel back a little bit farther, reach that left knee a little bit farther ahead, find that length in the body. From that length in the body, start to plant the hands down. Start to slowly take yourself back to a plank pose. And from this plank pose, all we're gonna do is walk the hands to the back of the mat, coming through to a forward fold at the back. Let's go ahead here, separate the feet out. We want to have the toes come to about mat width apart. So toes are going to face off 45 degrees, heels are just on. And let's come to the pose of the week, Malasana or Garland pose. So we're going to start to sink those hips down, hands come through the heart center, lift that chest nice straight back. Again, Garland pose, Malasana, yogi squat. Beautiful here. Take a moment here to plant those heels down, lift that chest, feel the elbows separating those knees apart. Beautiful work here. Take one more deep breath in. Then as you exhale, plant the hands on the mat. Lift your hips up, coming into a wide leg forward fold. There we go. Beautiful work. Then from here, we're going to begin to slowly just walk ourselves forward back to that plank pose. From that plank pose, keep pressing the hands down, lifting through the hips, gaze slightly forward to have that nice neutral cervical spine. Then from here, just tiptoe the feet to the top of the mat, coming through to your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we plant the hands down as we begin to slowly separate those feet back out. Come into Malasana, back of the mat. Sink those hips, arms come to heart center as you press the knees out. Knees are tracking over those toes. Malasana, yogi squat. Take a deep breath in, long breath out. Awesome poses here. Take a moment here to begin to bring the hands down towards the mat. Lift your hips up, wide leg forward fold. Now from here, we're just going to about face. All we're going to do is we're going to slowly just turn ourselves in a tight little circle. Now we're going to be at the back of the mat facing the front. So from here, if you have taken classes with me before, I occasionally like to do crow hops. So we are going to do crow hops today. So all we're going to do is we're going to build upon that little Malasana we were doing. So we're just adding a little bit of hopping. So take a moment just to look at the screen, look at what I do here. So my hands are going to come down to the mat. I'm going to have that Malasana-like shape where my elbows are going to be pressing out, my knees are going to be pressing in. So from here, we want to lift the knees so that way they're between the shoulder and the elbow. Squeeze them in. And I'm just gonna look forward. The gaze is 99% of this. I'm looking forward. All I'm doing is just going hop, move my hands a little bit forward, hop, move my hands a little bit more forward, hop. And maybe I'm getting a little more air time each time I do this, because eventually as we come to the top of the mat, we're gonna come through to full crow. We will do that together. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. So at the back of the mat, go ahead and take your feet wide, hands come inside of the feet, hug those knees in tight to the triceps, press those elbows out, and begin just to lean forward. Just lean forward and hop, lean forward and hop, and make your way to the top of the mat. So once we get to the top of the mat, we're gonna work on crow pose really quick. I say really quick because the intention is we're not to spend a lot of time on it, but just enough to have a little bit of fun. So for about 2 to 3 minutes, we're gonna play around. And crow pose looks like this. For those of you, if you have crow pose in your practice, go ahead and have some fun. If you want me to guide you through it, we're gonna do that together. So crow pose looks like this. Hands shoulder to distance apart. My knee is between my elbow and my shoulder, the higher the better. Squeeze those knees in. Now squeeze the knees in, I'm looking forward. Always looking forward about 4 to 5 feet. Pressing my hands down, I begin to lift the hips. Lean the head forward, keep the gaze forward. Eventually I pick up one foot, then I pick up the other. Crow pose. I'm hunching my back as if it's cat back. We are pushing the ground away. And we're hugging everything in. We're really hugging that core in tight. And we're gonna come do our crow pose. So after a few breaths, feel free to come back down, try it again. We've got about 60 more seconds. So feel free to play around with that if you'd like. But once you're done with that crow pose, find your way to a child's pose. And then we'll go ahead and we'll relax out those wrists too. So feel free to take the arms behind you in this child's pose, take whatever feels good. We have done a lot of shoulder work. Taking a deep breath in, long breath out. So just slowly inhale, find your way to a tabletop position. We're gonna work our way through to a puppy pose. Let's go ahead and relax out the chest a little bit. So puppy pose, it means that your hips stay over the knees. You walk the hands forward as far as you like. And then what you do here is you don't move the hips, you just melt the chest towards the ground. And you can have your forehead touch the ground if that's more comfortable, or if you wanna have an extension of the neck, you put the chin down instead and you gaze forward. But the hands are where all the pressure is. You are pressing actively through the hands and you're squeezing everything together as if there's a block there as you press your chest back. You're gonna feel this radiate from the armpits into the chest, the lats. It will feel maybe nice, maybe it will feel intense. It may depend. But give yourself a deep breath in here, long breath out here. Deep breath in here, long breath out here. On your next inhale, so just slowly walk yourself forward through back to your tabletop. So just go ahead and just walk the hands backwards. And then from your tabletop, let's go ahead and slowly spin those feet out in front of us, coming through to a seated position. So flex the toes towards the face, kick through the heels, reach the arms nice and high. Then as you exhale, find your way to Paschimottanasana, seated forward bend. Taking a moment here to keep pressing out through the heels, pulling the toes towards the face, really pulling that chest forward. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Slowly begin to bring yourself back up. We're gonna let our legs come to a nice V. As we come to Janu Sirsasana, so we're gonna take our left leg, bring it into the right. We're gonna inhale, reach those hands high, square that sternum over that right leg, and fold ourselves down. But as we do this, let's concentrate on what our left leg is doing. So we are pulling our chest towards the right leg, For our left leg, let's go ahead and press that left knee a little bit more actively towards the ground. Maybe we squeeze that left glute to let that happen. Noticing how that changes things a little bit. Breathing in here, breathing out here. Keep feeling that left knee travel towards the ground, maybe using that glute to help press it down. Then as you're ready, release any tension in that left leg. Slowly roll yourself back up. Bring your hands by the side for support. As you begin to lean backwards, left goes long, right comes in. Flex those left toes towards the face. Inhale, hands reach high. Square over that left leg as we surrender down. Janu Sirsasana, left side. Again, noticing that we are pulling our sternum towards that left leg. Now begin to squeeze your right glute, maybe press that right knee towards the ground, noticing how that changes things. Breathing in, breathing out. One more deep breath in. One more long breath out. Inhale, so just slowly roll yourself back on up. Hands come behind you to let both legs start to slowly extend out in front of you. And from here, we're going to slowly find our way to our Navasana or boat pose. So we're gonna make sure we're about halfway down the mat. Squeeze the feet together, squeeze the knees together, hands reach forward. And then if you wanna keep your feet planted, that's fine. Otherwise, you begin to lift yourself up, bounce on that tailbone, shins parallel to the mat, keep reaching the hands forward, chest towards those knees, breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. As we exhale next, feet plant, hug the knees in. So this is where that cushion might come in handy. We're going to be doing some boat lower. So we're going to be coming a boat to a hover, lifting back up, hover, lift back up. So if you've got a sensitive bottom, maybe it's comfortable for you to have a little cushion, like an ab mat of sorts, for your tailbone, so that way you don't hurt yourself. But we're gonna do that one more time. And as I say one more time, I mean several. So we're gonna go through a little bit of an ab workout here, just to really wake that body up, get ourselves ready for our day. So begin to slowly press those feet back together, knees press together, lift through the chest, arms reach forward. As you begin to lift up, Navasana, boat pose, we're gonna keep lifting that chest high. Then as we inhale, we lower to a hover. A few inches off the ground, then exhale, lift back up. Inhale, hover, exhale, back up. 5 more times at your pace. I'll know you're done with the 5 times when your feet are planted and you're hugging the knees. All right, beautiful work. Then from here, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna slowly recline backwards. So if you got the cushion under you, remove that off to the side and just go ahead and let yourself come all the way down to your back. Once you come all the way down to your back, reach the arms overhead, full body stretch. Feel that back maybe snap, crackle, and pop. And then slowly hug those knees into the chest. Once those knees are hugged into the chest, but to really hug them in tight. Maybe you rock side to side. But from here, we're going to find ourselves to a supine pigeon. So right foot plants down, left ankle crosses over the right. Find a way to that supine pigeon. So maybe we stay here in this position, maybe this is comfortable, or you start to pick that right thigh up, hands come to clasp behind, flexing through both feet as you begin to pull that right knee in, using that left elbow to press the left knee out. Maybe you start to sway a little back and forth, noticing how the swaying, it has different pulling on the muscles. Breathing in, breathing out. Then slowly take that right foot down to the mat, uncross the feet. Now take it over to the other side. Right now crosses over left. Hands come to clasp behind that thigh if you'd like. Flex you through both feet. Pull that left knee in as you press that right knee out. Again, maybe you sway, maybe you don't. Breathing in, breathing out. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, left foot comes down to the mat. Uncross the legs, Go ahead and slowly, with control, windshield wiper those knees left to right with control. Then slowly find your way back to center. And start to really hug those knees tightly in, rocking from side to side for a moment. Then begin to let the knees go nice and wide towards the armpits, feet come towards the ceiling, hands come to foot, ankle, or shin. As you kick the heels up, you pull down through the hands, coming through to happy baby. Taking a moment here to keep pressing up through the heels, pulling down through the arms, getting into the hips here. Breathing in, breathing out. Trying to get that tailbone towards the ground. If you are having trouble getting that tailbone in contact with the ground, drop your hands down to the knees instead. That might help. Breathing in, breathing out. Then slowly, as you're ready, begin to slowly take any final movements that you need to complete your practice. But otherwise, we're going to come through to our Shavasana. Let each ankle come to each corner of the mat. Let the arms come by the side. Give yourself a moment here to set yourself up for comforts, getting a blanket, sweatshirt, whatever you need, socks. But let yourself completely settle down. Letting go of the practice. Letting go of any tension held in the body. Taking a deep breath in, filling up as much as you can. Exhale, side out. Letting yourself come into the breath, into the body, into the mind. Observing from head to toe and toe to head. What's happening? Noticing how the body is different now than when class began. Giving yourself a moment here to breathe in and breathe out. Taking a deep breath in and a long breath out. Taking a scan of the body from toes to head and head to toes. Noticing what's going on in the body. Noticing what's going on in the mind. Taking a moment here to send each breath into the entire body, letting it circulate, letting it give prana and energy all throughout. Mindfully, we take in the deepest breaths we can, from belly all the way to the base of the throat. We feel that breath circulate in the body. Beginning to slowly invite movement and energy back into the body. To wiggle the fingers and wiggle the toes. Making small motions with the ankles and the wrists. Then as you next inhale, the arms come overhead for a full body stretch, getting long in the body. Exhale, the knees come in for a good squeeze. Go ahead and rock from side to side. Eventually fall over onto your favorite side. Taking a moment in this posture of renewal and rebirth to set an intention for the rest of your day. Maybe the intention you already set will work, or maybe you want to set a new intention. Whatever that is, let the intention be one that lets you live with grace, live with presence, and live with strength. Begin to slowly press yourself up to seated. Rooting down through the sit bones, lifting up to the crown of the head. With the eyes closed, we draw the hands through to heart center. We take a deep breath in, and we sigh it out. Start to bow the chin to the chest. Giving yourself gratitude for being here this morning, for taking the time for self-care, for taking the time to move with intention, to be in the body, and to be present. Taking a deep breath in, we mindfully lift the thumbs to our forehead center, and we bow forward to seal the practice. Namaste in its most simplest form means the light in me honors and acknowledges that same light in each of you.